Hello, everybody. This is Marcel from Oregon here, coming to you day after the Super Bowl was played. Actually, this will be up on Tuesday, so it'll be 2 days after the game was played. And let me tell you something: the game was everything I said it was. If you watch my pre-Super Bowl predictions, I got the score almost exactly right. I predicted 27-24. It was 28-24. I just got the teams wrong. Predicted Gronkowski wouldn't be a big part of the game, and he really wasn't. I predicted Brady was just going to do what Brady always does, and I also said that Russell Wilson had to be precise. And as we found out at the end of the game, he was not. He was good, but he was not what he needed to be to beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Now, I also didn't watch any of the post-game coverage. I didn't watch any of the talking heads right after the game or on Monday because I wanted to make sure that this opinion was mine and wasn't influenced by any of them. So let's talk about Tom Brady. Is he the best quarterback to ever play the game? In my mind, the answer is no. The answer is Joe Montana. Will he ever catch Joe? If he wins another Super Bowl, has another MVP year, I would have to reconsider and possibly put him in that category. But for right now, it's still Joe Montana. Joe Cool was everything in the 80s, and he resurrected the 49ers along with Bill Walsh and Jerry Rice and all the other Hall of Famers that played with him. Brady had a fantastic game. 37 for 50, 328 yards, and 4 TDs. Now, he did throw 2 interceptions, and his team should have lost because of those 2 interceptions, but, it just didn't work out that way. It made those interceptions irrelevant with the last play of the game. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, was, like I said, okay. He wasn't what he needed to be. He was 12 for 21, 247 yards, 2 TDs, and the interception that will be talked about for years to come. The Patriots won the game. They made all the big plays, except for that catch. I think his name was Curse, who made at the end of the game. I mean, that was just phenomenal awareness, and even more awareness by the Patriots to actually tackle him when he got up, because they could have easily assumed ball hit the ground, threw their hands up, and he ran in for a score. That would have been the game right there. But I want to give a shout out to Chris Matthews. This is a guy no one ever heard of. This is a guy who was unknown, undrafted. He was one of the last cuts of the Cleveland Browns in 2011. The guy played in Canada, played for the Winnipeg Jets. But the guy was it's like Kurt Warner, except he didn't win. He was working as a security guard at Foot Locker, and I don't know how many of these stories, are going to happen. I mean, it was incredible. Working as a security guard, and he got a phone call from the Seahawks asking him to come to a tryout. His answer was, "I don't know if I can make it. I'm not off my shift until 9 o'clock." That tells you the guy had his priorities in order. He had basically given up on football, and he had a job. He had to make money, he had to put a roof over his head, he had to do what he had to do. It's a good thing he took the tryout. Now, on to the call. Marshawn Lynch is the best power back in football. No ifs, ands, buts about it. He is the man. Plain and simple. He had a great Super Bowl. 24 carries, 102 yards, 1 TD. The final play was called the way it was, and I mean this in all sincerity, that Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, the powers that be, were not going to let that Skittles-eating, gold cleat-wearing, crotch-grabbing, no-talking-to-the-media, great power back be the damn hero of the game. Not when you have Mr. Perfect, the golden boy, Russell Wilson at quarterback. This is not a running backs league anymore. We need to accept that. This is a quarterbacks league. Quarterback is the star of stars. Quarterback gets way too much credit for the team winning, and sometimes gets too much blame when the team loses. This is not the case with Russell Wilson. He is not getting too much of the blame. Russell Wilson should have done what any other great quarterback would have done with a great running back on the 1 yard line with a guy like Marshawn in the backfield. Do you really think Jimmy Johnson could have said to Troy Aikman, hey, Troy, we're going to throw a slant in to Michael Irvin on the 1 yard line? Troy Aikman said, no, we're not. We're giving it to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt's taking us home. Jimmy probably would have said, you know, you're right. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. But Pete Carroll was not going to let Marshawn Lynch be the hero. And Russell Wilson not telling the coach that, I think, gives validity to some of the things that Percy Harvin said about him. It just makes me think more and more that Russell is more concerned with image and being a company man than he is about winning. Russell should have overruled Pete Carroll at that time. He should have looked at Pete and said, Pete, we're not doing this. We have 3 timeouts, 3 shots at this. The first shot, the second shot, needs to go to Marshawn. I'd rather have him say, I'm going to Disneyland, than answer questions on why we threw this stupid pass. But they threw the stupid pass anyway. Now, Russell not doing that just leads me to believe that he's not the leader I thought he was. He's too much of a follower. Tom Brady, I don't think, would have let Bill Belichick make that call if they'd had Corey Dillon in the backfield. For those of you who don't remember, Corey Dillon was one of the great power backs in the league. He would have looked at Belichick and said, we're going to get the ball to Corey Dillon at least twice before we try a pass. You know, at least make them think we're going to run. You know, do some play action, anything. And Russell should have just said, man, it's beast mode time. And he would have been trying to find the time to get fitted for ring number 2 instead of answering all these questions on the call. The call was about perception, and perception that only the golden boy quarterback should be the hero. Only the good should be champions. Only those anointed to be great should have the privilege of winning the greatest 1-game championship in the entire United States. Not the guy whose back they rode all the way there. Not the guy who, unlike Russell Wilson, is the best at what he does. He's not perceived as good enough to say the line, I'm going to Disneyland. You can say what you want. There's nothing Pete Carroll, there's nothing Russell Wilson can say to make me change my mind on why they made that call. Other than the fact that they did not want, you know, the Skittles eating, crotch grabbing, gold cleat wearing, non-talking to the media, best power back in the game to be the hero. There's no other reason why they wouldn't do that. Other than they just wanted Russell Wilson to have all the fame. That's the only thing I can think of. And that thought process cost them title number 2. And Russell, you need to do a lot of soul searching. You need to ask yourself, should I overrule the coach sometimes? If I see something different, am I a big enough star to do that? I think the answer is yes. I think if he'd have got to play, went out there and went, yeah, no, we're running power, Marshawn, get ready, beast mode, take us home. You think Pete Carroll would have been mad? He'd have been a little irritated, but he would have been too busy going, man, this second ring is awfully heavy. And that's the only reason why that call was made. It's the only reason that makes sense to me and probably to you guys as well. And quite frankly, that's just how I see it. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Like, rate, and subscribe. Have a good night.